This is Out Loud and Laughing. Today, we're absolutely thrilled. We have David Hernandez, and if you don't know who this is, he is the triple threat singer, songwriter, director. You all know him from season 7 of American Idol, placed, which I think he was robbed, 12th out of tens of thousands of other hopefuls. But he's gone on to entertain us through so many other ways, his music and beyond that. So from collaborating with other artists and appearing on stage and sexy male review shows, we're going to learn all about it today. We're excited to hear about it. Welcome, David Hernandez.
Thank you so much for having me. The pleasure and honor is all mine, guys. Thank you.
Well, welcome, David. We are super excited. We are huge fans since your 2008 American Idol days. You look great. It's so nice to have you on.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, the ring light helps.
Listen.
No, that's, 2008, man. When you put it that way, it feels like a long time ago, but time just flies. I've been trying to tell these kids, it just goes. So
John and I agree. We both turned 40. What was it, last year, John?
Last year.
We're in the same boat. We're like, where has the time fucking gone? But here we are.
that's amazing. All right, 40 Club, what's up? Woo!
Yep.
40 and looking
Looking
good, if I may add. Yeah, exactly. Ring lights and all. That's awesome. So are you ready to dive in, David? We have some
Yeah, let's
questions.
do it. Let's dive in.
Awesome. First and foremost, as someone, including myself, who's focused on living one day at a time, I wanted to thank you for I wanted to start talking about this one song that is so provoking and is so honest. It's called Feel It All. It's this new soulful anthem. All of y'all, if you haven't checked it out, go to your streaming services and go listen. It's amazing. Or go watch the video that David co-directed. It's amazing.
So good.
It dives deep into your personal journey with recovery, sobriety, and redemption. And it's, connecting that to the LGBT community is like so important. You've also, I know
Yeah.
this is a super long lead in. I do have a question at the end of this because
Okay.
you've been quoted by saying that representation saves lives. That's, Brian and I believe this wholly. It's sort of part of the North Star of Out Loud and Laughing.
Yeah.
And with this one song and sort of your entire journey, which we're going to learn about, emphasizing this part of recovery for queer individuals, which is something
Mhm.
I don't think is very parsed out often enough, which is why for me this episode is so important and so
Yeah.
beautiful. Um, you said you wrote it for your own therapy. So
Mhm.
here goes the questions. What was that exact moment, right? That you realized that this deeply personal part of your life and this song needed to be shared with the world? And of course, I'm interested to how it's impacted this personal sobriety journey.
Yeah, God, there's so many it's so nuanced the way that I feel about this song. I wrote it in January of this year, and I didn't actually release it, as you know, until September. So somewhere in the middle of January and September, I got the balls to share it with the world. I honestly, I when I wrote it, I had called over my producer friend Trent Park, and it just was sort of like a writing session. I just had this
Mhm.
idea on my way to the gym. I hummed it into my voice notes on my phone, and then I called him and I was like, "Hey, what are you doing today?" It was a Sunday. I'm like, "Do you wanna swing by?" He's like, yeah." So he came by and we just started messing around with sounds. I would sing the melody, and by the end of the session, it had pretty much been written, but I hadn't written, like, the 2nd verse, and the 2nd verse is probably the most, I would say, I mean, it's all personal, but it's the most specific. To my journey. And so after, I wrote that like another 3 months in after we had our initial session. So it's been this sort of evolution. And also keep in mind that at that point, I was only like 6 months sober. So I just kind of wasn't fully, I was just prioritizing myself, like my health, my sort of my new, I don't know, like getting in touch with myself, and the way that my perspective was really different, and it was intense. Like, it was, there was a lot of like things that I was used to that no longer were what I was doing. And so it was like, let me pivot. So releasing this song was sort of not only not on the forefront of my mind, but it was sort of like, we're going to push that down for a minute. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
let's just focus on your program and staying sober, and like just reconnecting with the parts of life that excited you since you were a little kid. So as I finished the song, I started playing it for people in my circle, like important people. and they were like, most of the responses were tears. And I'm like, whoa, hold on a second. Like this was my story. What do but as things happen in art, something that you think is yours ends up becoming so relatable to other people. And so I decided to release it. And I remember being on the phone with my sponsor when all the things were already set into motion about releasing it and being like, oh my God, 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 did I just do the right thing? Like, what happens if I don't stay sober? Like, what happens if, like, there's pressure? And he's like, okay, you're future tripping right now. And this is all
Mm.
self imposed. All you have to do is show up, do the work, which is the music, release the video, and then you get to stay out of the results of it all. But that's also one of my problems is that I don't like to stay out of the results. I like to be in control all the time. And that always ends up causing me a lot of suffering because the truth is I don't really have any control, right? That's why I got in this position of sobriety to begin with, right?
Preach.
So, so like it was such a damn journey, man. Like just getting to the place of just releasing it. And on the day of the release, I was like biting my fingernails. Like, what if all my fears come true? Right. And there's that famous quote that was like, but what if you fly, darling?
Yeah.
And what if, and it makes me emotional talking about it because I forget like what a cool pivotal place in my life that was. And I hope that it touched somebody else in a way as well. So that's kind of the long and short of it. It wasn't something that was intended to be released, but it ended up being something that I thought belonged to the world and not just myself. And what a sad moment it would have been if I decided to keep it on my laptop because I think it's been such a beautiful journey for everyone that's been involved. So, yeah.
And thanks for sharing it with the world because, obviously I've been on this journey with John and his sobriety. And so I have that connection to it. But being someone who isn't sober still has empathy and wants to be connected to this community because it's so deep what you guys are doing for yourself and your life. And so
Yeah.
pivoting even just away from the song, like the music video, right? Like that was
Yeah.
I actually loved the video because it connected to the song and brought like that realness. And so what was it like to capture that on camera? Because it felt very real.
And for those who haven't watched the
Yeah.
music video, you've captured something, David, that is so faux pas in the world of, the AA or an anonymity world of
Yes.
taking
Yes.
Right.
people into the circle where a lot of that work is done. So continue on. I just had to
Yeah.
share it because
Yeah.
to give people that context.
Yeah, and that was one of my sort of trepidations with it as well because the programs are anonymous and I didn't want to violate any anonymity in that. So everybody that you see in the video has given their express permission to use their name and likeness and there were some people that turned it down, and rightfully so. I get that. Like, just as I was insecure about releasing the song and with where I was in my journey, I can completely understand not wanting to show face in a video that speaks to that journey. Um, but I don't know. It was like I think I did it in a way that was really tasteful without giving everybody's vices particularly or the things that they're working on. Like also, I think it's important to note that not everybody in the video is part of a recovery program. There's quite a few people in the video that wouldn't mind me saying that, but then other people were in there for a variety of different traumas that they had overcome throughout their lifetimes. Because, whether you're in therapy or you're in the 12-step program, like we're all working to sort of unpack a lot of the things that don't serve us anymore, that still somehow create the habits or the behaviors that we uh, um, foster like in our adult lives, right? So I thought it was cool to just be the message of the whole video is community.
Mm.
And it was cool because up until that, like up until the shoot day, I was kind of stressed, because I am the financier, I am the producer, I am the, and so my brain was being pulled in like a million different directions. But once we got on set and I had hired everybody that I needed to hire, it was cool to see everyone come together as like this sort of like it was like a little like kiki in your living room. Like people were like, "Oh my god, it's so nice to meet you. I've heard so much about you." And my mom was there and she got to meet my sponsor and some of my closest friends and it became, I mean, it was a long day, but it became more about like being around each other. It did exactly what it was intended to do, which is like bring everyone together. But it was interesting up until that day
Right.
how much goes into, I mean, because there was like almost 30 people involved in this video. So with the crew and the cast, like it was bananas. But at the end of the day, we got 5 different, nonprofit organizations to stand behind the video and endorse it, one of which was the West Hollywood Recovery Center, which is where I got sober, and, it's just been an incredible, like, ride with that, so yeah.
You mentioned to Glad another quote that recovery isn't just about putting down the drink or the drug, it's about reclaiming your voice, your worth, your story. You know, it, when you talk about the song "Feel It All," it sounds like it's sort of a part of all of this, and almost a
Yeah,
part that you would only be comfortable sharing outward. There's got to be a lot more underneath the hood. What?
course.
How is the journey of recovery uniquely layered with you being gay? I think that's so important to talk about since it's sort of this intersection that we've come to this path that we've come to.
Yeah. It's interesting because I didn't realize, like, how much was wrapped up in my sexuality, until I started sort of unpacking it all, and,
It's
I'm really
huge.
good at putting on a show. That's kinda what I do. That's my career, and I've been doing that since I was a little boy when I knew that playing with Barbies wasn't, as acceptable as playing with GI Joes, and so, when I was 6 years old, my mom used to give me these presents after everybody left that were the Barbies, right? So I would open the ones of the GI Joes and like the boy toys in front of everybody and family and stuff. And then when they would leave, she'd be like, "Here's your real gifts." She's amazing for that.
Yes,
But I
yes.
learned very quickly that this was something you weren't supposed to share. She was, trying to protect me, right? Because kids are crazy. Kids are mean, and so there's no filter on children, So she would do that, and it became it was just like an introduction to like what the rest of my life would sort of be. It's like push it down, push it down, push it down. When you're in the privacy of your own, 4 walls, then you can be who you want to be. But like outwardly, you're a boy and you like boy things and you like girls and and here's the thing. Those things later in life, if you don't address them, will make you drink or use if you're an addict.
Hands down.
So for the people in the back of the room, if you
Mm,
think you're fooling somebody, you can't ever, 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 ever fool yourself. And that will show its ugly face later in life. And so for me, what I learned anyway is that it wasn't it wasn't necessarily like the drink or the drug. Like my life was already unmanageable. Drinking and drugging was my solution to everything. I didn't have to really take a look at any of those things. So when you take away the drink and the drug, your life is still unmanageable, but you can work on the things that made it such. I mean, there's fucking multiple times a day where I'm like, I want to strangle something or
mm,
someone. Usually it's my ego. Usually it's my fear. So my ego and fear are actively just kind of like fucking hitting the paddle ball back and forth to each other. And I'm just like, oh my God. But once I can just sit with that for a minute, I start to process it. And it's painful, right? Like sitting for those 30 minutes or an hour, sometimes 2 hours, and being like, oh my God, like how nice would it be if I could
yeah.
just escape for a minute. But the problem with my escapism is I don't know when I'm going to return.
Mm.
So I don't get to do that anymore. Well, I've made a choice that I don't want to do that anymore. So I just have to face the fucking music, which is the hardest part. So that it's, but it's a, I mean, it's a hard thing.
You say face the music, and I hear it all as, and this was something that was pivotal for me in my sobriety journey. Uh, and there's like almost like this meta approach to it where it's like you have to accept things.
Yeah.
You have to just let things fall. You talked about being a control freak. You talked about all these things, and I, as it pertains to being gay for us, I think it has to do with hiding all these parts of ourselves and imagining that
Yeah.
we have to jump in through all these hoops that we forget about who we are
Yeah.
and using and then you layer in being an addict on top of that, like I am, and the unmanageability becomes unlivability, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted
Yeah.
to follow up on that. You hit it all on the head. Thanks for
No, and
sharing.
like, and it's it was fun for a long time. It's, what do they say? It's
Sure.
like it's fun, then it's fun with problems, and then it's just problems, right? And
Yeah.
that's just like kind of where it ends up being. But going back to sort of the other just traumas and like other people and feel it all, like it's the same thing for people that are not alcoholics or addicts, really. They just have a different solution, right?
Correct.
And those solutions might also be unhealthy solutions. Who knows? I don't presume to know that story, but I do think it's important, and I always say this to people, like, just don't look away. Like if it's
Mm.
uncomfortable, if it's something that's like painful, like look straight into the eye of it, and I promise you, like it will pass. And that's what I learned anyway.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, of course. I don't
It's
want to
so
be too
nice.
preachy. I
No, you're not being preachy at all. I think it's so
like you
important.
asked.
Can we rewind a little bit in your career, because obviously you were on American Idol, right? So we would love
Yeah,
to hear a little bit about that experience, but
yeah.
more through the lens of, you know, how did that shape you of who you are as an artist today? And also, like, which artist do you kind of look to when you're channeling to define yourself?
How did it shape me? The first part of the question.
Yeah.
I think it's part of all of that I've become. I was so young when I auditioned for the show. I had a record deal beforehand. When I was 20 years
Oh, I
old, I had
didn't
my
know this.
first record deal with Universal Bungalow. And we worked on an album for 2 years. I wrote, I produced it. And then the label like basically dropped me, but wouldn't let me out of my contract. So my manager at the time had to send like a gift package to the attorney, because I was also simultaneously on my way out from the label. I was auditioning for Idol, and I kept making it and making it. And so finally, Idol during Hollywood Week said, "Hey, we want to push you through, but like, you're still on this contract. If you don't get this canceled by like tomorrow, or I forget, it was like by Friday or something, then we can't keep moving with you." So I was like, "Fuck!" So my
Yeah.
manager sent this like massage package. It was like $400 or $500 worth of just like care to the attorney, and within like an hour, we had the release of the contract. And I'm like, "Wow." So I think like from the trauma of being dropped from a label, and not owning any of my music, to doing American Idol, and then being sort of beholden to this sort of like boot camp of a contract, and then
Uh,
just it's like go go go. It's a defining moment. You either sink or swim. And at 23, I was fucking terrified. I mean, I hadn't really been on a show like that. I don't know many people who have at that point, and I certainly wasn't ready for that type of scrutiny. So I was excited and I wanted to do it. Like it was, I had to do it, right? Like that was my only, at the time, when you're younger, you feel like it's the end of the world if you don't.
Yeah.
oh yes.
Yeah. You don't, and back then there wasn't language for like what the universe has for you is for you, and let it go. And like that wasn't in '08. It was like you better do this or you're gonna die. Like what I mean. So
We weren't woke yet.
yeah, we weren't quite woke yet. So for me, it was like I have to do this or else. And so that was like for me, like I'm so glad I had that experience on the positive side of it, because there was some traumas, but like I'm glad I had this experience of like being thrown into this sort of like boot camp of entertainment, because it's like go go go. Because everything after that, while it has been work, it hasn't really been the anxiety compared to what that show did in 2008, because there was a lot of, I mean, the media was nasty, 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 nasty. Like some of the things the media was saying then, they would never say now.
Sure.
Just like, how many sexual partners have you had? How long have you been gay? And are you a top or a bottom? And, like shit like that. It's like, sorry, did we meet? Because I don't think you know me like that. You know what I mean? Like, so it was hard, but I think a lot of it, like
Mhm.
any sort of anything in your young adult life, it's sort of like snowballs if you don't if you don't unpack it. Going back to all that shit. So yeah, but Idol was a cool. I'm so grateful that I did it. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, kudos to you for even getting on. Like that's amazing, and just, talks about the talent that you have. And so going back to my
yeah.
secondary question was just around like, that was
Who?
years ago, right? Not that you're old, because we're all thriving in our young age, but that was so many years
Surviving is
ago.
good.
Exactly. And David Hernandez is different today. So like, Who are you
Yeah.
channeling? Is it R&B? Is it pop? Like, who's your inspiration? What's your vibe?
What does Alyssa Edwards say though about age? Because I always say,
I love that queen.
as we mature, and she says, as we uh as we evolve, I think that's what she says, or something like that. It's
Yes.
something along those lines. I'm probably misquoting this, and I fucking love Alyssa, but um, so here's my thing. Like, what is my sound? Where am I going? Who am I?
Mm,
Like, I've just learned to not also put myself in a box. So, uh,
100%.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Great
What I
answer.
know is I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna sing tomorrow. I don't even know what I'm gonna sing tonight. Like, what I'm gonna write just really depends on how I'm feeling because I'm a human and I'm a nuanced and like that's just like how I roll. I don't know. When you tell me to get in the studio and write a hit, I'm like, that feels like pressure. You know what I mean? Like, how about I do this? How about I just tell you how I'm feeling? And if you can relate to it, amazing. And if you can't, there are like a billion other artists that I'm sure you're gonna love, you know? Figure that out. Like, I'm tired of like this pressurized, like sort of compartmentalized thing that they put you in where you're like, you have to be this or you have to be that. I'm just gonna do what fucking feels good to me at the
Mhm.
moment. And if that works, cool. If not, I don't know, maybe I'll be in a different mood tomorrow. I do look up to the people that I love looking at Janet Jackson's career and like
Yes.
how much do you remember when she did like Black Cat? I mean, like
Yeah.
for a
Oh,
black
yeah.
woman that came from the Jackson 5 to do a rock song, like, come on. Or like Madonna when she did Frozen and she went
Yeah.
into her like Wiccan stage and like she was a witch for a minute. Like, yeah, let's do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just like it's so cool when it felt like it was more allowed back then for like artists to have this body of work that like could just like turn on a dime. And you just didn't know, but you were here for it. Um, I don't know. I love artists like that that push the envelope and don't always just like I feel like with music nowadays, everything is so like single based that you don't get like the experience of like a full body of work, which I mean, I don't know. It's kinda sad. I mean, I'll settle for the EPs, I guess, you know? But I wish
All
that there was a whole body of work.
all I'm hearing, David, is that you are verse, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, there we go. Well, I mean, you couldn't be more accurate, Brian.
We want to be
Just
on the
depends on my moods.
yeah.
Depends on your mood.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we're trying to achieve top of the charts, not bottom of the charts, so it changes a little bit there, right? The meaning.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, whatever you're feeling, there's less pressure at the bottom.
Yeah, well, that's touche and douche,
Douche
by the way, if you're
and
gonna go
douche.
that route.
Douche and touche, yeah. Love
My
it.
gosh, you've had such, like, a long run. You've talked about, how amazing your mom was at the age of 6. I read that your
Yeah,
grandfather even took you to your first audition at your local theater company. You went to Idol, which we just talked about, but there's something under here that I want to sorta unpack a little bit before we dive into some lightning round questions. Yeah,
yeah,
you had a big presence with your clothes on, but then you also had a big presence with your clothes off.
yeah,
Uh, your naked review of Naked Boys Singing in Las
Such a good
Vegas,
show.
such a good show.
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that and like how being in that. I'm curious personally on how being on that taught you about stage presence and vulnerability because in that setting, like a concert could never do that. I mean, maybe if you're like I don't know Janet Jackson at the Super Bowl, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, not even quite the same. That was just a titty.
Yeah, that was just
This
one
was like
titty.
yeah. No, this was like the whole shebang. This was like
Wow,
everything, balls out, balls to
that's
the wall.
amazing.
It's funny, my friend Jay Rodriguez presented that opportunity to me because Tom DeAngora, the producer of this version of Naked Boy Singing, he had reached out to Jay to be a part of it. Jay was doing other things, and so Aaron Carter had just dropped out of it, and so he was like, "Hey, would you want to do this?" And I was like, coming out of the pandemic, um, I was like, maybe we'll try this. But I didn't know it was like fully nude, right? Like until I had the call
Mhm.
with like Tom and he was like, no, 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 this is like, and I was like, but how? Like, okay, so, okay, yeah. Is it funny? And he's like, yeah, it's hilarious. I'm like, okay, maybe we could do that. I mean, he sent me the music. And I don't know how eventually in my twisted mind I justified being completely naked for people every night in Vegas, and I did it, and it was probably one of the single best things I've done in my life. Like it, I think there's like a certain level of knowing yourself that happens when you start to just accept, like, this is me, this is my body. Like, there's no, tailored clothes to cover up the things that I'm most insecure about. The way that you present to an audience is very the way you want to present. And this is like, I mean, we were doing like high kicks fully nude.
Nothing to
Like,
hide.
I don't know if you can get a visual of that, but like
I'm
your
trying to.
balls and your penis, they kind of just go, you know? And so like there's nothing flattering about that, right? So you tend to have to lose your inhibitions with that. So then once you lose those inhibitions, like a whole nother level, there's like another level your brain like ascends to, which is like, well, I just have to forget about what's going on down here and focus on the on the music and the
Yeah.
script. Yeah. It was interesting. There was definitely nights where I was like, "Oh, today," like I felt like bloated or I didn't wanna wasn't feeling like being fully nude that night, but here we are. Yeah, that was but out of that whole experience, parlayed some really beautiful pieces of, artwork from my friend, Noel Photo Studios. It was like nude photos that he took of me tastefully. They came out really beautiful, and I'm just proud of looking
Yeah.
back on that, I'm really proud that I was able to do that. Would I do it now? Probably not. Probably not. Probably
Yeah.
not.
Fair
But I
enough.
was just in a different phase, and like I was doing a musical that was centered around nudity, and so I was like, "Hey, let's just like let's embrace it all." And I think it was all so tastefully done.
Yes, we're all going through our eras, so you have to enjoy them as they come.
We're
I love that.
Have you guys been through that era yet? I don't know.
Our nude
Uh,
era? I don't know, not yet, John, but we're still feeling it
I've
potentially.
been through my horror era though, so
Yeah, oh, 100%.
just
Oh,
more
yeah,
of a
yeah,
I take more of a one-on-one approach, David.
yeah, I like that. It's hard to focus now as you mature.
Yes, exactly. Evolve is another word we're going with.
Evolve,
Evolve
as Miss
as
Alyssa
you
says.
gain more experience in the world.
Well, before we go to our lightning round, I also wanted just to kind of quickly touch upon some of the other shit that you're doing because, you're not busy enough. So, you released a movie not too long ago, Glamping, which I
Yeah.
want to hear quickly about where people can watch it. And then you're also re-releasing a song that's going to reach its
Yeah.
10-year anniversary next year. So, like, let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm excited about Beautiful. It comes out Valentine's Day of 2026. We're doing I one of an incredible producer, Nico the Kid, reimagined Beautiful. That was from it hits its 10-year anniversary. So we were like, wow, this was such a powerful impact. It's like my number one song of my career so far that people love. And so we're re-releasing it with a special feature on it. And it'll drop. I'm really excited about that. And the same photographer that shot all my stuff in Vegas for Naked Boys Singing, he's actually going to do this photo shoot for Beautiful.
Oh,
So we
cool.
Amazing.
shoot that. Yeah, he's Noel. Yeah, he's great. But most people don't. So going back to glamping, that's now available on Tubi, by the way, for free. You can watch it.
Love
Where I
it.
play a serial killer named Cyrus. Most people don't know that when I started off singing and acting at the same time when I was 7 in the Canterville Ghost, which was my grandfather, as you mentioned before, John. He was a janitor at a strip mall, and he took me to this audition for a musical theater show, and I got the part. So that was like my first working role at like 7. But as American Idol and my record deal happened and stuff like that, music sort of took off first. And so I didn't really get a chance to focus on my acting quite as much. But as the pandemic hit and things started slowing down, I started kind of reassessing like my trajectory and like my sort of like I've always been in love with the world of acting, as you can see, like Naked Boy Singing and musical theater stuff, but like film and television in particular, like I've always kind of went hand in hand with my love of music. And
Mhm.
so I've been in class for the last 12 years. I just haven't really used any of what I've learned in class to pursue a career in acting. So my acting coach was finally like, David, you're not coming back to class until you start like working. Like, cause I was like, no, but I need to put up more scenes. And he was like, no, 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 hold on. You need an agent. You need to submit. And so that decision happened, coincided with when I got sober. Isn't that funny? I
Yeah,
was like, you
that's
know
how it
what?
happens.
Let me put all this time and effort that I would have been putting into going out on the town and drinking. Let me put it into something that's like meaningful. And so immediately I started booking these roles. I did a bunch of student films, and I went on to do vertical films, which I still do now. And then I shot a movie musical called Saturday, with this a beautiful woman, Diane Foster, which comes out next year with Drew Seeley. And then more recently,
Cool.
Glamping, which was a
Yeah.
self submission, by the way. I saw this submission for a serial killer. He's attractive and but he's a killer. And I immediately thought of like Scream, or I thought of like Ed Norton in Primal Fear.
Oh yeah,
And I'm like, oh,
totally.
this looks, I could fuck with this. Like, let me. And so I literally threw the audition up. I was done with the audition, and I think I did like 3 takes, and I was like, send this off. And I got a call, and they were like, hey, we want to offer you the role of Cyrus. And I honestly, to be honest, I didn't know that it was going to be on Tubi. They didn't like lead with that. I just thought, okay, well, I'm just going to be, I'm grateful to be considered.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? So then, so we shot it in Topanga Canyon. It was like a 4-day shoot for me, where they shot Final Destination and Friday the 13th.
Oh,
So it
cool.
was really cool nostalgia. And then the next thing you know, we're having a release party on a red carpet, and it came out on October 24th. So it's been such a, and by the way, right after that, I literally signed to a new agency. So I don't
Congrats.
know. I think
On
I'm
the
where
up
I'm
and up.
supposed to be. Yeah, I think things are like they're going, and you know how I am. And John, you can probably relate to this sort of like control freakisms. I always tell my partner like, I don't know, things aren't going quick enough. And he's like, okay, in a year and a half, you've shot 15 vertical shorts, a movie musical that comes out in 26, and a feature film that just came out a month ago. I would just relax for a minute and
Mhm.
just trust, you know? But trust is the hardest thing, you know? Like it's a hard thing to do. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm fucking excited about this movie. It's such a cool film. So if you guys get a chance, like sit back, make some popcorn, and order some, I don't know, whatever your cheat meal is, and watch it. It's great.
Into it, into it. I have to say that sobriety looks very good on you, David, and I'm
Thanks,
so
John.
glad that you found it because I know that without it, a lot of this work that you're putting out probably wouldn't have been possible, and probably not to the great caliber of what you do produce at. So thank you.
Yeah.
And
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I have to selfishly also shout out to my sponsor because I would not be here without all of his hard work too. So and dedication.
Yeah, we love
Huge.
him.
We love them, all of the great work.
Yeah.
And if you do need and I'm gonna just say the disclaimer, if there's anything in your life that you think needs managing, there are literally over 150 anonymous groups for anything. If you chew tape to an excess, go find your community and go get help. It's out there.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
thank you for sharing that. And if anybody, watching this podcast wants to slide into my DMs, I can push you in the right direction with anything that I do know. I'll let you know if
love
I don't
that.
know anything. I'm very honest and open about that. About my skill sets. But if there's anything that you need help with, pointing you in the direction, I pay close attention. So just slide into my DMs, message me. And yeah, I don't ever want anyone to feel like there's not resources, because there is, especially to those people that are like in middle America in a little tiny small town. I came up in a small town, so I get it. You might feel like your world is like this big, but like
Mhm.
it's just a phone call or a text or a DM away from like finding what you need.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I feel like we know you intimately enough, but I think that this next
Do
lightning
you?
round might get us just where we want you. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Are you ready
Pass up. No,
are
I'm
you
kidding. I'm just
yeah.
fucking.
That's a different pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, well,
You're gonna need to come to the late night sessions with Jim Ferraros for that one.
Woo! Well, I mean, me and which I love Jim. I
Jim is
do
Oh,
great.
love
yeah.
Jim.
Yeah.
He's
His
a
new
good
music
friend of
video,
ours
I make a
now.
little cameo in his music video coming out,
Oh,
and
good.
we're very excited about that. And he
He
speaks
joins
so
our
highly of you
he
guys.
joins our pod now a lot. So David, you're now a friend and you're gonna come back. We just know
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, have me
So
back anytime. I'll pop on for
we will.
sure.
All right, let's fire these questions off because I know we can keep going all day. Um,
yes.
of which we don't have.
Cool.
So are you a scruff guy or a no scruff guy?
Like scruff in terms of like my beard or the app?
You and
You tell us what you
you
want.
I like scruff on my face.
Very good. Not on your phone.
a little hair.
A
Gotcha.
little hair, but I also like, I mean, like, I'm not really a hairy guy, but I don't mind hair as long as it's like kept, as long
Yeah.
as it's like nice and clean and like, you know, in the
Have a
right
vision.
places.
You don't want to
Have a
weed through the
Yeah.
bushes. I gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay with a bush too, as long as it's, honestly, I'm gonna leave it there.
We have plenty more to dig deeper. So, okay,
Okay,
mine's
great,
an easy
great.
one. Mine's a layup. Are you a dog guy or a cat guy?
Dog guy.
So
But I
easy.
grew up with dogs and cats. I did, and I wouldn't
Mm,
mind a cat. My partner just doesn't like them.
mm.
But
Fair
we have
Yep,
a dog, and I'm obsessed with dogs. Like, dogs are everything. They're better than humans. Yep.
agreed.
Yeah.
Are you a summer on Fire Island kind of guy, or are you wintering in Palm Springs?
Probably wintering in Palm Springs with a nice cardigan and next
Ooh,
to a hot tub with, like, I don't know, like a hot toddy minus the whiskey and
Yes.
just, posted. Yeah. I'm like, yeah. Yeah. I've only been to Fire Island like twice, but it was fun.
we
I
love a
say
jacuzzi.
I say ever since I got sober, I prefer this version of a hot toddy because it's actually a man and his name is Todd. So we're in. We're in.
That's
Um,
Hot toddy. Got it.
hot
that's hot
toddy.
toddy. I was gonna say that's hot, and I'm like, no, you just walked into that one.
So then leads into bear or twink.
Depends on the mood.
Okay, yep, there goes back to that verse.
Honestly.
Verse, there it
Yeah.
is again.
Depends on the mood. There's something out there for everybody.
Amen.
Baskin Robbins it up, baby. Romantic comedy,
Yeah.
romantic comedy, or a horror flick.
Horror flick for sure, glamping in particular.
Go watch
Hello.
Glamping on Tubi, y'all.
We're giving you that layup.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's controversial. A Mariah Carey Christmas or a Judy Garland Christmas?
Mariah Carey Christmas.
Ooh, didn't even wait. I love it.
Listen, I love Judy Garland, but Mariah Carey, she's the queen of Christmas.
All
Do you know who?
pop.
Fun fact, Liza Minnelli lives right behind me.
Oh,
Hey,
I
hey,
know, right?
Liza.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah,
I
she has
love.
she has a driver with a Bentley, by the way.
That's
So
of course
I
she
know
does.
her Christmases look nice.
What's up, Liza? So close.
What up, Liza? How you doing, girl? Can I get a $50 bill?
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Um. Really quickly, side note. Sorry. The only person that bumped Mariah Carey Christmas off my playlist was Kelly Clarkson Christmas, and now
Mm.
Kelly Clarkson Christmas has been bumped to the side, not off, by Teddy Swims Christmas from last year.
He
Amazing.
has a Christmas album?
There, you're welcome.
Oh, wow.
Go
Wow.
check it out. Go check it out.
All right.
Are you an Arizona guy like back home, or are you into your LA, California life?
California life, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I got out of Arizona when I could.
As fast as you could.
Mm.
Yeah.
I share the
But I
same
got mad
sentiment.
love for the state. I just did Pride there last year with David Archuleta, who was a contestant on my
Mm.
season as well.
Yes.
We had both headlined their Phoenix Pride. So I love
Oh.
going home, for a small moment in time.
He's
And then
he's
we're
been
back.
he's been doing a ton of stuff in our hometown, where Brian and I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Wilton Manors. I've seen a lot of him up
Yeah.
there, so.
I was just in Wilton Manors too in April. I was performing at an event there for the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice, yeah.
Yeah.
We're
But yeah,
friend
David
we're
Archuleta he's been making his rounds.
we're friends
love
with
it.
we're friends with Don and, his husband, Mark, so I'm, with, Commerce over there, so
Oh, sweet. Okay, yeah. I think I'm pretty sure I met
probably
them.
shook their hands, yeah. Okay, anyway, go ahead,
Yeah,
Brian.
yeah.
All right, just a few more. Okay, are you an ass guy or a chest guy?
Do I have to pick?
I mean, if you have to look at one for a full day and not the other, what are you looking at?
Probably ass.
Mm.
Mm,
Yeah.
it's neither
There's
of
nothing like a good shelf of a butt, where it's just like
Just a
on
strong
and
booty.
popping.
I love
Yeah.
I love a great
Let's
ass.
go. Let's get that. Anyway.
Okay, you're sober, so we're gonna answer this very, very, carefully, but are you a dance club kinda guy, or are you a house party kinda guy?
House party kind of guy. And the reason being is because I want to hear the conversation.
Same.
Such a good answer.
Oh,
Yeah. I can't. Yeah.
this is
I
40,
danced
guys.
up no, even when I was drinking going out, I was much more of a dive bar kind of guy than I was a dance club.
Yeah,
100%. Like I
Me-
would just get a beer and a shot and we'd sit there all night.
and just talk.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, so lastly, since you're a singer, what are you putting out next? A power ballad or a club banger?
Beautiful the remix, and it's gonna be kind of like it'll be a club banger slash in your car getting crazy driving to the gym banger. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be great.
I love it. I
But
was listening to
but
it this
I'm
morning.
crazy though. I'm the kind of person that listens to ballads at the gym.
Mm,
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm the same.
Yeah, I love a good vocal. Like I know I'm kind of weird like that, but I'll listen to like Celine, Mariah, Whitney, Teddy Swims, John Legend. Like, I want to hear vocals.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to our weird when we're so happy to have you in our world now. That's for sure.
You guys got to hit me up now all the
Yep.
time.
We def will.
All right, boys. Is that
All right.
it?
Yeah, thanks, David. We will see you
Thank
soon.
you. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll talk soon.
Bye,
Bye.
y'all.
Bye.
This was Out Loud and Laughing.
We're available everywhere you get your podcast: Spotify, Apple, YouTube, iHeart, or wherever.